Hello, good evening everyone. Namaste. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my channel. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. I know it's been a couple days since I've done a video. I'm trying to do a video at least once a day. And I know it gets crazy around here, so there's times where I can't. I just can't with the babies and kids. It just gets crazy. So please forgive me. I am trying to get things situated. So, okay. Tonight I'm going to go ahead and have a little talk about love. Or like loving the wrong person, staying in the wrong relationship. There's a situation that has went on just recently, where two people met and they had an attraction towards each other. So they started talking and, and seeing each other and dating. But they knew inside that they wasn't supposed to be together. But instead of stepping out and saying, okay, we're not supposed to be together, blah, 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 instead they fought to try to keep their relationship going. They'd have silly fights. Well, it's not really silly, but the one tried to make the other person believe he was a person that he wasn't. He was different, and he just was so lonely that he would do anything to try to keep that relationship going. And she was also lonely, so instead of being strong and saying, hey, I know we're not supposed to be together too, they both knew it, but instead of keeping away, they kept going back. They broke up, a couple times before, and they'd stay away for a couple months and then go back and start talking together, and just different things like this. But the longer they talked, the more, they couldn't hide their true self, and that caused, bad fights. So, just recently they broke up again, and they care about each other. They do. They care about each other deeply. But it's their loneliness, I was going to say fears, but it's their loneliness that kept bringing them back together. And the more and more, if you fight to keep something together that you know in your heart is not supposed to be, you will ruin yourself and you will ruin the other person. And so step back and say, hey, we are good as friends, but we can't be lovers. We're not supposed to be. You're not my soulmate. You're not my twin flame. You were probably brought together for a reason, and instead of saying, yeah, we were brought together probably to be friends, but you see someone you like, and then you're like, well, I don't want to be your friend. I want to be more, you could be with me and I'll be with you, and blah, blah, blah. But it don't matter how long you fight against the universe, if you're not meant to be with someone, it's not going to happen. You both will do things And you probably even sit back and say, well, why was that done? Why, you know? Well, the bottom line is if you're not meant to be together, it's not going to work. No matter how hard you try, how hard you fight to keep the relationship together, how many times you break up and come back, if it's not meant to be together, if you're not meant to be, it's not going to work. The universe is conspiring, saying, hey, wake up here, you two are not supposed to be together. You're not. I have something much, much better for you. And a lot of times, people get scared, you know. They meet someone who they're comfortable with. And it's more like a comfort in saying, okay, I don't want, I'm more comfortable with you, so I'm going to suffer with you. But we are not supposed to be here to suffer. You know, if we meet the one that we're supposed to be with, then you're not going to suffer. You know, yeah, relationships go through things, but if we're meant to be together, it makes you stronger together, not living together and like dreading each other type deal. Like, my grandparents, they lived together for many, many, many years. And they wasn't supposed to be together, but they were Christian, and the Bible says you're supposed to stay with the one you married, right? Well, the universe says that you have a twin flame, your soulmate, the person that you're supposed to be with. It don't matter what man says. It don't matter what a book says. You know, if you're not supposed to be with that person, you're not supposed to be together. And some people, they're just so caught up on their religion and what religion says. So people stay together and they're miserable. Oh, I remember my grandma was so miserable because she stayed with him, you know, miserable. I said hello, and it was like, the person we're supposed to be with is not going to make us miserable like that. Even when we have fights, you know, you will notice, even in the fights, there's still going to be love. You know, you might fight and walk out the door and then immediately start missing each other. But when you're with someone you're not supposed to be with, you hate each other. You know, you're like, man, I wish he'd die, you know, because you feel stuck. That's what it is. You stay with someone because you're lonely and afraid to, you know, be out there. So you feel stuck to where you think that you have to stay together now because you're stuck together. You know, you've been with each other so long, you know, you're stuck, and, you know, you know each other, so you could put up with each other, or you could deal with each other. Well, we're not supposed to put up with each other. We're not supposed to deal with each other. We're not supposed to be miserable. We're not supposed to, you know, we're supposed to be happy together. We're supposed to grow together and rise together. If the universe is sending you signs, everywhere you look, you see signs. Don't ignore them. Don't. You listen to the universe, because the universe knows best for you. They know the hearts of this person. They know the hearts of you, you know. The universe knows your heart. The universe knows who is perfect for you. The universe knows who was set aside to be with you. You know, there's someone who has supposed to have been with you forever, you know. And we look for all these other things, temporary pleasures, and, you know, things that we're not supposed to. So, two people who know they're not supposed to be together need to be truthful to each other, no matter how much you like each other, and you might even love them, but you need to be truthful to each other, both of you. You know, you need to take a step back and say, hey, I know in my heart that I do care about you, I do love you, and I would like to be with you, but I know that we're not supposed to be together. I know you're not my twin flame, I know you're not my soulmate. Yeah, it might hurt, it might pinch a little bit, but in the long run, you will be so much better, and they will be so much better. If people would start being honest with themselves, this world would be such a better place. But people are so afraid to be alone. You know, even if those who say they're not afraid, but they don't want a relationship, but you find them always at the clubs or partying with their friends, you know, they do this because they're lonely. You know, they dance with different people because they're lonely. Their soul knows that they're lonely. Their soul knows that they are missing something in their life. They might not realize it, but their soul knows. And instead of staying to themselves, you know, seeking who they are inside, meditating, they go out and, you know, they can't stand to be alone. So what do? They go all these places where they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be in the first place. But they go because they're afraid to be alone. And they don't want to be alone anymore, but then they fight it within their heads, you know. They're all big macho people. I'm not talking about just men, I'm talking about women too. They get this macho brain, you know. I don't need anyone, I don't want a relationship, it just hurts, I'd rather be lonely. Well, if they were lonely, they wouldn't have to go be with their friends, party, and they wouldn't go to clubs, you know. They're searching, they're seeking for something, even though their brains may not realize what they're seeking for, but their souls do. So, instead of being with the wrong person, instead of being with someone you know you're not supposed to be with, someone who makes you unhappy, and all you do is fight, or, you know, you just ignore, you learn to ignore certain things. That's not right. You know, don't ignore what he does just because you don't want to fight, or just because you don't want to be lonely, or just because you don't want to leave him. You need to step back. Step back. Start loving yourself. You know, in our lonely phases, we need to learn to love ourselves. Be ourselves. You know, meditate. Don't worry about going off, you know, partying with your buddies. Learn to love yourself. Learn to be happy being alone. So use that time to build yourself up. I'm not talking about your brain or whatever. Your inner self. Your inner self. Build your inner self up, your spiritual self up. And raise up high inside. Then you won't feel so lonely. Yeah, the loneliness will be there here and there. But you're too busy worried about building yourself up to where when your twin flame does appear, then you two will just kick it off. But if you're too busy running the field and, you know, doing all this other crazy stuff you shouldn't be doing, when your twin flame arrives, you'll still be in this mentality where you're skipping around doing all this other crazy stuff, and you're like, oh, I don't need anyone because I'd rather be free because I'm not lonely, blah, blah, blah. But your soul is sitting here picking at you saying, hey, hey, something's not right. This is the one you're supposed to be with. You know, this is your soulmate, your twin flame. And instead of, you know, coming to a union, coming together like you're supposed to, you turn your back against your twin flame, the one that you're supposed to be with someone that you're not supposed to be with. A lot of that is fear. You're afraid to truly love. You're afraid to truly give your heart and soul to someone. So you'd rather be with someone else to where you know you might fight and be miserable, but you know you're not supposed to be together. But it's okay because you don't truly love each other, so you're not going to get hurt, right? A lot of people think that way. But if you spend time with yourself, loving yourself, building yourself up, then when that person comes that you're supposed to be with, you will leave everything behind just to be with that person and say, hey, I know I will love you so deep, and I could get hurt so deep. Because when we love deep, it hurts deep, right? I'm trying to. But when it's your twin flame, there's just something about it where it's amazing. Every day is amazing, and you wake up and you look at each other and roll over and give each other a hug and just hold each other and kiss, and you're like, man, it's so amazing to be waking up next to you every day. It's so amazing how much love we have for each other. All the time, you know, you're always beautiful, you're always this, you're perfect, you know, even though you're not perfect, but you're perfect for each other, you know, and you work and build each other up. If one has a problem, the other one's there to help, you know, maybe just help build you up mentally and physically, you know, but you're there to build each other up and help each other. You know, it's not all about money. You know, if both of you work, you know, that's on you. If one stays home with the kids while the other works, sometimes, you know, especially this day and age, it's hard. You know, where a lot of times two people need to work. But if you're doing your calling, what you're supposed to do, it all will work out. But if you're with the wrong one, it's not going to work out. Because you're not doing your calling, you're not doing your soul calling, you're not doing what you were sent here to this earth to do. Because you're off messing around, being crazy, doing what you're not supposed to do. Because you are afraid and have that fear built up, and, you know, afraid to be lonely, afraid to, you know, do anything for yourself. We need to do things for ourselves in our lonely moments instead of being with the wrong person. That wrong person will keep bringing us down and down and down, and they don't mean to, but they do, because we're not supposed to be with them. You know, so what we're supposed to be doing is loving ourselves, you know, knowing, hey, I am worthy to be loved. I am worthy of true love. I am worthy to be anything that I want to be. I am worthy. I'm wonderful, you know. There's so many people who are down on themselves and keep talking bad about themselves, to where that's why they get this crazy thing where they stay with someone they're not supposed to be with. And they cling on to them because they feel so badly about themselves because they don't love themselves. So they stay with someone they know they're not supposed to be with. The relationship that I was talking about beforehand They both knew, they wasn't supposed to be together. She knows who she's supposed to be with, but that's a situation that, another situation that I was talking about, how he is with the wrong person, and because he's afraid to get hurt, and, all this crazy stuff. So, instead of staying where you're not supposed to be, no matter how scary it is to break off, you gotta seriously break off that, whatever you call it, that, I don't know the word I want to use, but you need to break off what you're not supposed to be doing. Break it off. Your soul knows. Your soul knows. That's why you're not happy. You're not truly happy. You could pretend to be happy. You could lie to yourself and others saying that you're happy. But your soul knows you're not happy. So to be truly happy, we have to step back and start loving ourselves. Forgive ourselves for the bad things that we've been through. Forgive ourselves for everything that we've done and that has been done to us. Some people blame themselves for the bad things that people has done to them all their lives, And in that case, you're not the fault. You don't feel bad. You don't blame yourself. You're not the fault. The others are. But to some people, it's harder to forgive themselves than to... They just rather just keep it. They hold a grudge against themselves to where they don't feel like they deserve to be happy. No matter what, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be with the one you are meant to be with. You don't deserve to be with someone that you're not supposed to be with. You don't deserve to be with someone so you're not lonely. You don't deserve to be with someone who you don't truly love. You don't deserve to be with someone that don't truly love you. You have to love yourself. And even if you don't agree with it, start doing affirmations, spend 5-10 minutes, starting off 5-10 minutes a day on yourself. Even taking a shower or going to the bathroom, sit there on the toilet, start giving yourself affirmations. I am beautiful. I am worthy of love. I healed myself. I am healed. Whatever has happened, I forgive myself. I forgive others for hurting me. I am full of love and compassion. Just work on the little affirmations, telling yourself these things. When you take a shower, you look up on YouTube on different affirmations, while you're in the shower. Just turn on YouTube and just sit there and repeat them. Lay in the tub and just put your earphones on. Just sit there and listen and breathe it in, and it starts to change you, Start loving yourself. Start being okay with being lonely. Start being okay being locked up in your room just for time. Because it's a time you need to heal. It's a time you need to learn to love yourself. So you will bring your soul up and you come together. Your soul, heart, mind, body, and soul, it comes together to where you could raise up. Your vibration rises and rises. And then the universe will conspire and bring in everything that you need and you want. And the universe will bring in your soulmate, your twin flame, and you will wake up more and more and say, you know what, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better, and you know, have more of a peace, an inward peace. You know, the outward pieces, they will fade and go away. But if you have the inward peace, you just wake up and you smile, and you're like, wow, what is that? Where did that come from? Because you're getting that inward peace, and you'll start, you know, your whole breathing, your whole everything changes once you start to love yourself. And then you're like, wow, this is what it's all about, right? You know? So when you do get introduced to your twin flame, when the universe says, okay, that person over there, send her a friend request. That's the one for you. Send her a message. That's the one for you. Or you meet someone at the grocery store. You know, you might live together in the same city. You might have grown up in the same place and not even know each other, you know. The universe, hey, check that out. That's your twin flame, you know. And if you're holding on to someone that you're not supposed to be with, what's going to happen? So get rid of everything, you know, that you're not supposed to be around. Get rid of the people that you're not supposed to hold on to. And walk the path that you have been chosen for. And you will meet the people that you are chosen to meet with. And you'll meet your twin flame, the one that you're supposed to be with forever. You know? But if you're holding on to someone that you're not supposed to be with, and clinging to that person because you are afraid to be alone and you're afraid to get hurt, then you're just going to be miserable for the rest of your life. And we're not supposed to be miserable. When we're miserable inside, we might be smiling and ha 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 at everyone else, but your insides know, your soul knows. And when you're all alone, you know. Don't give up your life for a lie, for something that wasn't supposed to be in the first place. Find yourself, your inner self, not yourself in the world, your inner self. The inner self the universe knows that you are and knows that you can be. And that should be your main focus. Don't be afraid. Don't be lonely. Don't do things because you're lonely. Don't let fear control you. Just believe that you are worthy of everything you ever wanted. You are worthy. And that's going to be it for today. I don't want my video to cut off on me until I figure out how to do longer videos than 30 minutes, you know, then I'm going to be stuck cutting it off. But I guess I said a lot and then went over a lot of things because it's very important for y'all to realize how important it is to love yourselves, you know. I've seen so much, and I'll say more and more throughout, you know, my other videos of different things I've seen. But it breaks my heart, the things that I've seen people go through because of fear and loneliness. Even me. So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go. It's 29 minutes now. So, y'all have a good night. Namaste again. And thank you so much for stopping by and checking me out. Thank you.